Alan and Alex Stokes, twin brothers based in California, were emerging YouTubers in 2019. At the time, their subscriber count was in the low millions, and their content primarily focused on prank videos and lighthearted skits. Their content followed a familiar formula seen across prank channels: shocking visuals, risky setups, and public engagement. They sought an idea dramatic enough to capture attention, yet brief enough to fit YouTube's fast-paced format. It wasn't long before they settled on what would become one of their most controversial ideas to date: staging a fake bank robbery in public. But despite moderate success, they wanted something more: a video that would catapult them to internet fame. Like many creators in the early stages of their careers, the Stokes were determined to stand out in a crowded field. Their goal was simple: go viral and grow their audience. With a background in social media and entertainment, the twins often created exaggerated scenarios to provoke reactions and gain clicks. Driven by this ambition, the twins began brainstorming a new prank. The concept was designed for maximum impact, with plans to disguise themselves as robbers and simulate a getaway. The Stokes aimed to create something that looked as real as possible. The decision marked a turning point in their channel's trajectory. No longer content with harmless pranks, they crossed into territory that blurred the line between fiction and public alarm. It was a calculated risk, one that would have consequences they hadn't foreseen, and it all began with a desire for viral fame. Planning the fake robbery. The planning of the Stokes twins prank was extensive and intentional. Alan and Alex decided to stage a fake bank robbery that would unfold in a highly realistic public setting. To begin, they sourced all-black outfits and purchased ski masks to conceal their identities. Their goal was to appear as believable as possible, creating an image that would instantly provoke public concern. In preparation, the twins also acquired 2 duffel bags and filled them with prop cash made of fake dollar bills. These bags would serve as visual cues to suggest they had just committed a robbery. To add another layer of realism, they involved an unsuspecting Uber driver, calling him to the location to play the role of a getaway vehicle without informing him it was a prank. Crucially, the twins also arranged for a cameraman to remain hidden in nearby bushes to capture the entire sequence. This positioning allowed for wide shots and candid public reactions, enhancing the drama and believability of the stunt. The entire setup was orchestrated to mirror scenes typically seen in action films or crime television, but was being performed in real time among unsuspecting pedestrians. Before starting the prank, the twins recorded an introduction on camera where they acknowledged the potential danger. They stated, "We're literally risking our lives doing this video," which highlighted their awareness of the risk involved. This comment, captured on film, would later prove pivotal. From their outfits to the Uber coordination and hidden cameras, every detail was deliberately chosen to sell the illusion. Their objective was clear: generate viral content at any cost, even if it meant blurring the line between performance and potential criminal activity. The Uber escape and public panic. When the Stokes twins executed the prank, they did so in broad daylight, surrounded by the public. Dressed in full black with ski masks and duffel bags stuffed with fake cash, they sprinted across the street and jumped into a waiting Uber. The Uber driver, completely unaware of their plans, was immediately alarmed by their sudden entrance and their appearance. Inside the vehicle, the twins urged the driver to step on it while making vague excuses about attending a costume party. The driver, visibly uncomfortable and sensing something was wrong, refused to cooperate. Disturbed by this situation and unwilling to be involved, he asked them to exit the vehicle and quickly drove away. Unbeknownst to the twins, several bystanders witnessed the entire scene unfold. From their perspective, it looked like 2 armed robbers were escaping a crime scene and hijacking a vehicle. Panic set in. One passerby called 911, then another, and another. Reports described masked individuals fleeing with bags of cash and jumping into a car. The volume of emergency calls quickly overwhelmed the local dispatch center. Within minutes, law enforcement responded to what they believed was an active robbery or carjacking in progress. Officers were dispatched urgently to intercept what they thought was a serious criminal act. What had started as a YouTube stunt had now triggered a multi-agency police response. The public had no reason to assume this was a prank. To them, the threat seemed real and immediate. The escalation from prank to perceived felony happened in a matter of minutes, all because of a carefully staged but recklessly executed attempt to go viral. Police confrontation and the Uber driver's ordeal. The prank's aftermath rapidly escalated as multiple police units arrived on the scene in response to the 911 calls. Officers confronted Alan and Alex Stokes, still dressed in black with ski masks and duffel bags, and immediately began questioning them. Their appearance matched the descriptions given by frantic bystanders. During the initial interaction, the twins attempted to explain that it was all just a prank for YouTube. Officers, clearly frustrated and concerned, warned them of the potential consequences of such actions. They emphasized how the prank could have ended tragically, especially given the tense climate around public safety and crime. While officers dealt with the twins, Other responding units had located the Uber driver. Acting on the assumption that he was involved in a real robbery, law enforcement swarmed his vehicle with guns drawn. The driver, having no knowledge of the prank, was terrified and confused. He was forcibly removed from his car, detained, and questioned extensively. Eventually, police determined the Uber driver had no connection to the twins' plan and was completely innocent. He was released, but visibly shaken. The officers acknowledged the danger he had been put in by being unknowingly involved in a fake felony. Law enforcement warned the Stokes twins that involving unsuspecting civilians in pranks resembling real crimes posed a serious risk. The presence of prop cash, masked disguises, and coordinated movements had convinced both the public and police that an actual robbery had taken place. Despite the gravity of the situation, the twins were released with only a stern warning. Officers stressed that they were lucky not to have been harmed during the confrontation. The prank had dangerously crossed the line from entertainment into territory where real people were endangered, without consent or awareness. The second prank at UC Irvine, just hours after being confronted and warned by police, the Stokes twins decided to repeat the prank. This time, they chose a different location, the University of California, Irvine, still wearing the same all-black outfits and carrying the same duffel bags filled with fake cash. They returned to the public eye to simulate another bank robbery. The setting may have changed, but the setup remained identical. The twins sprinted across campus, reenacting their earlier stunt in full view of students and faculty. While some onlookers quickly recognized the prank as theatrical and absurd, others were genuinely alarmed, confused by the display and unsure of its intent. Multiple individuals contacted law enforcement, reporting what they believed to be a potential robbery in progress. Despite the fact that they had already been cautioned by police, the twins demonstrated no hesitation in repeating the scenario. During the act, they stopped to speak with some of the students on campus. In these interactions, they openly bragged about the earlier incident involving the Uber driver and the large police presence it had triggered. They recounted, in detail, how their prank had led to rifles being drawn on the unsuspecting driver. Their casual tone and amusement over the event stood in stark contrast to the distress it had caused. While they laughed about the experience and treated it as another story to add to their growing channel, others around them were visibly concerned. Once again, 911 dispatchers began receiving calls. Officers were dispatched for a second time that day, now heading to UC Irvine. The decision to repeat the prank so soon, despite clear warnings, highlighted a disturbing disregard for public safety and an unwavering commitment to viral fame at any cost. Police response. Round 2. After receiving another round of emergency calls, police responded promptly to UC Irvine. Reports of masked men with duffel bags, resembling bank robbers, had triggered concern on campus. Students and staff had no way of knowing whether the events unfolding before them were real or staged. The twins' identical attire and suspicious behavior mirrored their earlier prank, raising immediate red flags. Upon arrival, law enforcement recognized Alan and Alex Stokes from the earlier encounter. Officers quickly identified the prank's repetitive nature and confronted the twins again. While their approach remained measured, their frustration was apparent. This was no longer a one-time mistake but a deliberate decision to repeat behavior that had already proven dangerous. Despite the seriousness of the situation, the twins were not arrested. Instead, officers once again issued a stern verbal warning. The decision not to escalate the response left some questioning the inconsistency in enforcement, especially given the second prank's proximity to the first and the earlier involvement of an innocent civilian. The twins' willingness to repeat the incident, knowing the risks and consequences, underscored the extent to which viral fame had become their priority. Their disregard for public alarm, police time, and civilian safety painted a picture of content creators willing to gamble with legal boundaries. The second encounter left law enforcement with few options beyond documentation and reporting. While no charges were filed that day, the events at UC Irvine further solidified the perception that the line between performance and crime had been crossed once again. Following the events at UC Irvine, the Stokes twins compiled the footage they had captured throughout the day. The video included scenes from both initial setup with the Uber driver and the second staged robbery on the university campus. The video also included clips of the Uber driver's discomfort and confusion, capturing the moments when the twins entered and exited his car. Additionally, the twins' on-camera statements about risking their lives and knowing the danger involved were left unedited and visible to viewers. They titled the video "Bank Robbery Prank Gone Wrong" and uploaded it to their YouTube channel, making the content available to millions. It showcased the extremes to which some creators would go for attention and set the stage for legal consequences that would soon follow. The footage showed the twins sprinting in ski masks, the duffel bags stuffed with fake cash, and interactions with police officers visibly responding to what they believed were legitimate threats. Every step from planning to execution, public reaction, and police response was published on a public platform. The video quickly gained traction and went viral, garnering millions of views. Audiences responded with mixed reactions. Some saw it as bold content pushing boundaries, while others were deeply disturbed by the recklessness and risk it posed to civilians. Critics noted that the video essentially served as a self-incriminating document of a potentially criminal act. Ironically, what the Stokes had hoped would elevate their fame ended up providing clear and comprehensive evidence of their actions. The video's success amplified scrutiny from both viewers and authorities. Criminal charges and legal fallout nearly a year after the incidents. The Orange County District Attorney's Office formally filed charges against Alan and Alex Stokes. The charges included misdemeanor counts of false imprisonment and falsely reporting an emergency. If convicted, the twin brothers faced the possibility of up to 4 years in prison. The decision to press charges came after authorities reviewed the video footage and evaluated the risk posed to the public and individuals involved, most notably the Uber driver. The DA's office made a public statement, emphasizing that creating criminal chaos under the guise of internet content is not protected from legal consequences, and you cross the line and violate the law. A spokesperson stated, "You're going to be prosecuted." The statement reinforced that reckless behavior, even if intended for entertainment, could not go unpunished. Their case became a high-profile example of how viral stunts could backfire legally. While supporters continued to defend them online, public opinion remained divided. If you're re-engaging in criminal activity in order to increase your ratings or sensationalism on YouTube, what had begun as an attempt to gain viral traction on YouTube had now evolved into a serious legal matter that would impact the twins' public image and future content decisions. The coverage added to the growing conversation about responsibility among influencers and content creators. The charges sparked widespread media attention. News outlets across the country picked up the story, with headlines highlighting the bizarre and dangerous nature of the prank. Faced with overwhelming evidence, including their own film, confession, and uploaded video, the Stokes twins had limited legal defense. The filing of criminal charges marked a pivotal moment in the aftermath of the prank. The plea deal and final outcome in the face of mounting legal pressure and undeniable video evidence. Alan and Alex Stokes accepted a plea deal to avoid the risk of imprisonment. Under the terms of the agreement, both brothers pleaded guilty to reduced misdemeanor charges. Instead of serving jail time, they were sentenced to community service and probation. The resolution of the case marked a turning point in the saga. While they avoided incarceration, the legal outcome served as a public reprimand and set a precedent for how authorities might handle similar influencer stunts in the future. The court's decision aimed to hold them accountable without derailing their lives, while still acknowledging the potential harm their actions caused. The brothers completed their community service as mandated, and the incident became a defining moment in their careers. Despite the controversy, their channel continued to grow. As of the latest count, the Stokes twins now have over 125 million subscribers. The rapid growth of their following after the prank highlighted a troubling trend. Content can drive massive engagement, even when it results in criminal charges. Critics argued that the lack of severe punishment sent the wrong message, suggesting that high-risk content could be both profitable and relatively Supporters, however, viewed the resolution as fair, considering the brothers' lack of intent to cause genuine harm. Ultimately, the Stokes twins' case underscored the blurred lines between entertainment, legality, and accountability in the digital age. Their prank may have started as a bid for viral fame, but it evolved into a cautionary tale for content creators everywhere. Not all clicks are worth the cost.